Good evening and thanks for joining us. There is nothing like tough competition to trigger a price war. But there's a new battlefield in Australia's meat industry and you could be the winner. Complete with allegations of customer hijacking and sabotage, it's a war between two meat outlets on the outskirts of Brisbane. And as Rodney Lowe's reports, it'll be coming to an industrial estate near you soon.
It's not super butcher, it's super bullshit.
Pick up any one of those items and I will give you that rump and that eye fillet for free.
That's really interesting coming from somebody that's imitated me the last 10 weeks.
We'll do that for 23 bucks. It's marked at $29.95. That's unbelievable buying at that price.
They've both got bands and sausage sizzles, crazy specials and very similar ads.
Forget the gimmicks. This is 110-day grain-fed Angus rib fillet, $19.95.
This week, one of our specials, I've got a high-grade MSA rump. You'd expect to pay over $20 a kilo at the supermarkets.
And now the men who set out to change the way we buy meat by taking on the supermarkets and selling up to 70% cheaper are at war with each other.
I think you could say there's certainly a meat war on at the moment.
Sure, look, the relationship is deteriorating.
It started about 18 months ago when failed abattoir operator Andrew McDonald and his wife Alyssa hit the jackpot with the idea of a factory outlet for meat. But it got real ornery 10 weeks ago when Kevin Masterson opened his meat warehouse just 800 metres away. And like any war, it's about territory. And this battle is about to go national. Already Super Butcher has 4 stores in southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales, at Yatala, Ashmore, Oxenford and Tweed Heads, with plans for stores in Brisbane at Eagle Farm and Waterford, and one for Sydney. Meanwhile, Kevin has big plans too. Aside from his Yatala factory, by January, he'll be opening meat warehouses in Cairns, Sydney and Canberra, with plans for Melbourne and another at Tweed Heads, right round the corner from Super Butcher.
If there's butchers and supermarkets that are ripping consumers off, then clearly we think there's an opportunity for us.
And it's already meant some interesting skirmishes.
Look, I thought the endings of the weekend were absolutely pathetic.
And what Andrew is referring to is this: customer rustling.
Yay! They're putting cows on the side of the road and waving at people to tell, waving at our customers, telling them to drive down their street and shaking their hands at them, getting angry at them if they're driving past their street.
Then there's domain name squatting. If you do a Google search on Super Butcher, the first listing that comes up is the Meat Warehouse. But Meat Warehouse's Kevin Masterson believes Andrew is guilty of some suspect behaviour himself.
Andrew is leaving himself open for criticism by not using the Ozmeat grading system. There's many specials that I don't believe are specials.
There's no doubt Andrew McDonald is a showman, and the description he uses on some of his products is often meaningless. Kevin, meanwhile, advertises his buy price and his markup on specials. He believes Super Butcher's specials aren't transparent.
I've heard that you're buying those frozen and selling them defrosted. Is that true?
Incorrect.
And perhaps Andrew shouldn't be in business full stop. He is a bankrupt and by law can't be a director of or run a business.
No, look, I'm not a de facto director. Look, there's no doubt I lost everything 3 to 4 years ago. We had a very, very large export business that I was running during the Asian financial crisis, the market went against me and unfortunately I lost everything. If anybody knows my wife, they know she's in charge.
The reality is if these two can refrain from killing each other in a business sense, it's us who are going to benefit because their products are far cheaper and far superior to the supermarkets. And after all, it was the supermarkets they originally set out to take on. And while they will continue to rubbish each other, they do each have their own fan clubs.
Cheap prices, great service, friendly staff. Fantastic.
I'm on Super Butchers side.
Probably this place, Meat Warehouse, mate.
I think they're both good. And that just depends on what your preferences are.
But this war has caught some innocents in the crossfire.
It's very hard having two big guys down the road. It's like supermarkets are the same, Like, it's just hard to go up against.
Not only the supermarkets have been affected, but local small butchers like Richard Stockdale and Peter Goodall have their knives out.
No, we're not going to fight the war, you know, it's not our war to fight. We're just the innocent victims that are just being surrounded by a battle.
So, who does have the better meat? For that, we're not qualified. So we called in celebrity food commentator Peter Howard. Peter asked us to source him a piece of Black Angus sirloin from each butcher. Problem was, the Black Angus 6-star steak at Meat Warehouse was $39.99 a kilo. At Super Butcher, a 150-day grain-fed Black Angus sirloin was $19.99 a kilo. So, just to keep it fair on price, we bought a similar price 5-star sirloin from Meat Warehouse, then asked the chef and restaurant manager from Brisbane's Chalk Hotel to help us judge. The $40 steak from Meat Warehouse and the $20 steak from Super Butcher each got 2 votes. Chalk Hotel chef Declan and I choosing Super Butcher's $20 steak, and Peter and restaurant manager Will choosing Meat Warehouse's 6-star $40 steak. But the 5-star $20 steak from Meat Warehouse was tasty too.
It's almost tangy, that one. Real different.
So it seems in this war, it's the customers winning. Let's just hope these two don't ruin it for all of us.
Well, it's game on, isn't it? That's Rodney Lowe's reporting. We'll keep you posted as that battle spreads up and down the